After 60, the greatest threat to your brain isn't age, it's the habits that slowly destroy focus, clarity, and memory. They set the stage for years of forgetfulness that most people mistake for normal aging. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this episode, we'll reveal the 4 everyday habits that quietly weaken brain strength and the 4 powerful changes that can help reverse future damage. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where East meets Japan's oldest doctor to help you thrive after 60. Today's episode is one you should watch, because brain strength is the foundation of independence, memory, and the relationships that make life worth living. It is something we can control, because studies report that over 55% of cognitive decline risk in seniors could be traced to modifiable lifestyle factors, not aging itself. And yet, millions still lose precious years believing their decline is irreversible. So sitting across from me today is someone who proves otherwise. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's oldest practicing physician, well past 100, still lecturing, still mentoring, and here in the studio with us again. Doctor, how are you?
I am amazing, John. Thank you. When talking about brain strength, I am always asking the question, how can we expect the brain to stay strong if we keep feeding it the very routines that wear it down?
That question cuts right to the heart of it. Because I know many people listening right now have wondered why they feel foggy or forgetful or are scared for the future. So if you are listening right now, let us know your age and where you are watching from.
Most people don't realize these struggles are not random. They're common, but not inevitable. Too often, aging takes the blame, when in truth, it's silent daily habits that disrupt rhythm, starve the brain of fuel, and flood it with stress signals. That's why today we'll name them clearly. So 4 habits that weaken the brain after 60, and 4 simple changes that can reverse the damage. Stay with us, because even starting one tonight can sharpen your clarity by tomorrow morning. And if you watch to the end, you can request a free sheet with tips to protect your memory.
Yes, I have seen your sheet, and it looks so helpful. But what you're saying is, the decline people feel is real. But if we mistake the cause, we waste years chasing the wrong fixes?
That's right. And by the end of this conversation, you will see exactly which habits drain the brain and which ones restore it. We will cut through the confusion and replace it with clarity. Because after 60, your mind doesn't have to dim. It can shine, if you know how to care for it.
I remember the best friend of my father, a man who had been sharp and witty his entire life. In his 70s, he began forgetting small details, and everyone around him shrugged it off as normal aging. But when I spent time with him, it became clear it wasn't age itself. It was the small evening habits quietly eroding his clarity.
That is the truth for so many, John. What feels like decline is often just misdirection, the brain asking for different care.
So, let's get clear on this. What is the very first daily habit after 60 that begins to weaken the brain's strength?
The first habit that weakens the brain after 60 is irregular sleep, especially when combined with too much artificial light at night. The brain is a rhythmic organ, built to follow cycles of light and dark. But screens, bright lamps, and staying up at inconsistent hours confuse that rhythm. Instead of entering deep, restorative sleep, the brain hovers at the surface, never fully cleansing itself.
That makes sense because so many of my patients tell me they fall asleep fine, but they never feel rested in the morning. And they often blame it on getting older, not realizing the environment they create before bed is part of the problem.
Exactly. The glymphatic system, which acts like the brain's overnight cleaning crew, depends on stable slow-wave sleep to wash away toxins and repair connections. When light and irregular schedules interfere, those toxins linger and memory consolidation is weakened. I recall one study published in Science Translational Medicine that found even short bouts of nighttime light exposure disrupted cognitive performance the next day in older adults. And in Japan, we see the same. Seniors who protect their evenings with calm rhythm stay sharper longer.
So you're saying the problem isn't just poor sleep. It's the way we prepare the brain for sleep in the first place.
Indeed, sleep is not just rest, it is treatment, the body's own prescription for the brain.
That really resonates because I can think of countless people listening right now who've tried pills, supplements, or endless cups of coffee to fight brain fog, when the real issue might be as simple as light and timing. It's humbling to realize how powerful such a basic habit can be, and it makes me wonder, beyond irregular sleep and evening light, what other everyday routines are secretly undermining the brain after 60?
The second bad habit is skipping food in the evening or fasting too long overnight. After 60, the brain becomes less tolerant of energy gaps, and when it goes unfed for 10 or 12 hours, it reacts with stress. Cortisol rises, blood sugar fluctuates, and instead of resting, the nervous system stays alert. Over time, this weakens memory and creates that groggy, unfocused feeling in the morning.
So it's not just what we eat, but when we fail to eat.
Exactly. In Japan, we remind people that a small, warm, protein-rich snack at night is not indulgence, but medicine. Western advice often praises long fasting windows, but in older adults that can backfire. I've seen patients regain sharpness simply by adding miso broth or a soft-boiled egg before bed.
That really reframes things, because fasting is sold as the path to longevity, yet here you're saying it can quietly drain the brain's strength.
Correct, and that leads us to the third bad habit, the use of alcohol, especially too close to bedtime. Many believe a drink will help them drift off, but the truth is the opposite. Alcohol blocks the deep stages of sleep where memory consolidation takes place. Instead of feeling restored, people wake foggy, distracted, and with weaker recall over time.
So even a single glass in the wrong window can undo what the brain is trying to repair at night?
Yes, a glass at dinner may be tolerated, but alcohol right before sleep is a thief of rest. And many do not realize their morning forgetfulness is the shadow of last night's drink.
That's powerful. And I can already picture listeners connecting the dots between their nightcap and their mental fatigue. So what is the last bad habit we discussed today?
Shallow breathing and rushed evenings. When people eat or prepare for bed while stressed, breathing from the chest instead of the diaphragm, the body stays locked in fight or flight. This blocks digestion, lowers oxygen flow, and starves the brain of calm. A study in the Journal of Neurophysiology showed that deep, slow breathing boosted both memory and executive function in older adults. Yet, this simple practice is often overlooked.
It's incredible. Something as automatic as breathing, done poorly, can undermine the brain just as much as food or alcohol.
And that is why these 4 habits are so destructive. They seem small, ordinary, even harmless, but together they steadily erode brain resilience.
That really brings it home, because these aren't rare mistakes, they're everyday routines. So we've now uncovered the 4 bad habits that weaken brain strength after 60: poor sleep rhythm, underfueling at night, drinking alcohol too close to bed, and shallow stress breathing. Now we can shift gears. Doctor, what is the very first habit that doesn't weaken the brain, but actually begins to reverse the damage?
Yes, let's move on, John. The first good habit that reverses damage is protecting the rhythm of sleep with evening light discipline. The brain takes its cues from the eyes, and when light fades naturally, melatonin rises to guide the body into deep rest. But when the evening is filled with bright lamps and glowing screens, the brain loses its orientation. Rest becomes shallow, and memory repair is incomplete. Yet, this is something we can correct with simple cues.
So you're saying that the brain is literally waiting for us to tell it when night has begun?
Exactly. In Japan, we dim the home as the sun sets switching to soft amber lights, just as our ancestors lived by firelight. Even a half hour of darkness before bed can restore melatonin rhythms. For seniors, this is often the difference between restless nights and restorative sleep.
That makes me think of how many people fall asleep in front of the television with the screen blazing and never consider that the very device meant to relax them is actually disrupting the brain's ability to reset.
Yes, and it goes beyond sleep itself. When the brain misses those signals, it stays partially alert, as though danger may still be present. Heart rate variability drops, cortisol rises, and instead of healing, the body remains guarded. It reminds me of a paper that I read in the journal named Sleep Health. It showed that seniors exposed to screens in the 2 hours before bed lost up to 30 minutes of slow-wave sleep each night. Over time, that deficit adds up to weaker memory, higher inflammation, and more morning fatigue. But the opposite is also true. Seniors who practice evening light discipline see measurable improvements in cognitive tests, emotional balance, and even balance control. This is why I say rhythm is medicine. It costs nothing, yet its effect is profound.
It's fascinating because most of us spend our energy chasing the perfect pillow or supplement, while ignoring the simplest signal, light.
And that is why this habit must be first. Before food, before supplements, before exercise, it is light that instructs the brain. When you give it the right message, all other systems align.
That really lands because it reminds me of patients who swore nothing worked for their sleep until they learned to darken their evenings, and suddenly their mornings felt brighter. So let's keep up the pace. What is the next daily habit that doesn't just protect the brain, but actively begins to rebuild its strength?
All right. The second good habit is evening nourishment. A small, warm, protein-rich meal before bed. The brain requires amino acids and minerals to repair itself during sleep, and when they are absent, the nervous system runs on stress instead of restoration. In Japan, this might be miso broth with tofu, or a few bites of fish with greens. In America, it might be a soft-boiled egg or a small cup of Greek yogurt. The point is not volume, but signal, telling the brain that it is safe, supported, and ready for repair.
That makes so much sense. I've had patients who swore they couldn't sleep through the night, only to find that a little nourishment before bed changed everything.
Yes, because hunger is not just in the stomach, it is in the nervous system. When the brain feels starved, it wakes you in the middle of the night, scanning for fuel. But when given a steady source of protein, blood sugar stabilizes, cortisol drops, and the body stays in deep sleep longer.
And that stability, I imagine, ripples into the morning. More energy, clearer thoughts, and a calmer mood. It sounds so simple, yet most people ignore it.
Indeed, shall I move to habit 3?
Yes, of course, the word is yours.
Okay, the third good habit is choosing calming beverages instead of alcohol at night. Herbal teas such as chamomile, lemon balm, or barley water provide gentle compounds that relax the nervous system without stealing REM sleep. These drinks carry cultural weight too. In Japan, sipping warm barley tea in the evening is a signal to the body that the day is complete.
It's interesting because in the West, the evening drink is almost synonymous with relaxation. Yet here you're saying the very opposite. It steals the brain's repair time.
Correct. Alcohol sedates, but it does not restore. Herbal teas soothe, and they align with the body's natural rhythm. This is the difference between drugging the brain and supporting it.
That's a profound distinction. Many people don't realize that sedation and sleep are not the same thing. So is the last good habit also about breathing?
Yes, Hara breathing specifically, and gentle evening movement. Just 2 or 3 minutes of deep abdominal breathing can activate the parasympathetic system, lowering heart rate and blood pressure. adding light stretches, rolling the shoulders, folding forward, or simple neck rotations. Signals safety to the brain. This combination improves digestion, oxygen delivery, and overall clarity the next day. And science supports this. Japanese clinics routinely prescribe Hara breathing to seniors for memory support, and US studies confirm its role in improving vagal tone.
It's remarkable that something so small can create such measurable change.
Yes, and that is the beauty of these 4 habits. They are not exotic or expensive, they are simple, ancient, and proven by modern research. Light discipline, evening nourishment, calming beverages, and Hara breathing with movement. These are the pillars of brain resilience. And when practiced together, they do more than prevent decline. They build strength.
I find that incredibly empowering, because so often seniors are told there is nothing they can do, that decline is inevitable. But here you are, showing that a handful of daily rituals can change the trajectory of aging.
Yes, and the beautiful thing is that results are not distant. Many of my patients notice changes within days. Clearer mornings, sharper memory, more stable moods. The body is always listening, and it responds quickly when given the right rhythm. That is why I tell people, never believe it is too late. Even at 80 or 90, the brain can respond.
That really shifts the narrative, because it means there's always a way back, no matter when someone begins.
Yes, John, aging does not mean surrender. Aging means the stakes are higher, and the habits matter more, and the greatest gift is that the solutions are within reach for anyone.
And that leaves me reflecting on what we've covered. We began with 4 destructive habits: irregular sleep, underfueling at night, alcohol before bed, and shallow stress breathing. Then we revealed their antidotes: protecting light rhythm, nourishing the brain with evening protein, replacing alcohol with calming teas, and using Hara breathing with gentle movement. Together, they form a map for brain resilience after 60. Doctor, as we close, what final message would you give to every listener who's ready to reclaim their clarity and strength?
Your brain's future isn't written by age. It's written by the habits you repeat each night. So start today. Let us know whether you completed this episode and whether you want to receive a free sheet with tips on preserving brain strength. We will send it to you as soon as possible.